Ever had a dream that you were flying and it felt so real? As a kid, I remember jumping off my veranda with certainty that I could fly. I even had a cape. I'd watch those nature shows on TV and was always intrigued by the giant birds. They could fly for thousands of kilometers without needing a break, and they made it look effortless. Were they made that way, to soar? I was raised in a great family and always had the belief that there was something bigger out there than myself. When I was 15, I discovered faith, and it was at that point my life changed. I just felt like I had a clean slate, a chance to find my wings. I'm 16, standing in the front row of a youth rally, singing, "I'm gonna be a history maker in this land." I had no clue what the big picture would look like, but I genuinely wanted it to be true. Soon after, I discovered my passion was for the next generation. Inspired by the idea of making a difference, I signed up to volunteer with YWAM, or Youth with a Mission. A 6-month course quickly turned into 13 years of youth work, and it was during that time that I began to see how much the next generation had to offer, but also how much they were up against. I spearheaded an initiative that saw thousands of at-risk youth come together every Saturday from all over town to take part in our program. We created a safe environment for these kids to find belonging, to find a home. I loved working with these kids. They were family to me. But reality would hit at 3 a.m. when my phone would ring. On the other end, a voice, one of my kids, crying, not sure if they could make it through the night, believing suicide was their only option. To hear that I'd lost someone I invested my heart and soul and energy into was heartbreaking. How could I not try and make a difference when every single life counts? I tried to empower these young people to stand tall, not just to stay alive, but to thrive. I was called to this. I'd been with them in their valleys, in their darkest moments, and I celebrated with them in every win. But in 2015, I was at a crossroads. I felt a shift in my heart, and I knew deep down that my time in this role was ending. For the first time in my career, I didn't know what came next. I felt inspired to embark on a new adventure, somewhere fresh, but I had no idea what that was. I found myself at the GLS in Chicago, the premier global leadership summit. Listening to the speakers and soaking in the atmosphere, it was amazing. I heard that whisper again about soaring. When I got home from the GLS, a friend of mine was offered the opportunity to host a local GLS and asked if I wanted to help. I realized this was the wind that enabled me to soar, and I wanted others to soar too. I kept coming back year after year, working with a group of amazing people to create the GLS in our city. And in 2019, I was offered an opportunity to pioneer a new format of the GLS for the next generation in Australia. Motivated by what I had experienced and my passion for young people, within less than 6 months, thousands of Aussie youth had been equipped and were emerging as leaders, inspired to lead with integrity and humility and purpose. What we were doing was working. Schools, churches, universities. I soon realized this was a message not just for Aussie youth, but something that needed to be shared across the globe. So now, that's what I'm doing. I am reminded of a question I asked myself so many years ago. How can I help a generation of young people have the tools that they need to truly live their lives to the full? This is it. This is how. I'm no one special, but I believe that every next gen should have the opportunity to reach their potential, to overcome adversity, and to trailblaze their own path. From that blank canvas all those years ago, the picture becomes clearer every day, and I'm a part of painting that. I can see a generation of young people making great choices, believing in themselves, teens filled with integrity, being a force for good in their world and in their local community. I can see a movement of history makers. When I was young, my dream was for me to soar. Now it's so much bigger. Now I get to empower the next generation to do just that.